Okay, let's talk about palm muting. Okay, so this is a technique that is used a lot of times with electrics. It's sometimes used for acoustics. I do that a lot actually, but you hear it most pronounced when you're playing electric guitar, and it's a great technique. It sounds something like this. I'll use a series of palm mutes and not muting. Okay, so it's going to sound like this. Okay, this is a real basic thing there on an A, but you get that sound, that real percussive type sound when you're doing a palm mute, and depending on how much you're muting, you can make it sound really tight and really percussive, or just barely. So for instance, real percussive might sound like this. Whereas something a little bit more subtle might be like this. Okay, and we don't have to be using this much distortion. We could do something a little bit softer. It might sound like. So the distortion has less to do with it, but being an electric helps a whole bunch. Okay, so let's talk about the exact technique. What we're wanting to do is take this part of our palm, okay, and we're taking that and laying it right here on the bridge. Okay, remember that when we pick the string, it's vibrating between the bridge and the nut. Okay, and so this area back here is unaffected if I mute that, okay? So if I go, I can touch here all day long, nothing's going to happen. But the second I go over this area here, which is the bridge, it gets quiet, right? And the closer that I move my finger in here, the quicker the strings deaden. If I just stay right over here, they stay going a little bit. But as soon as I move past that, okay, so that's just kind of the nature of palm muting. So that's a good thing to remember, that when you're down here and you're working on this technique, if it sounds too percussive and you don't hear enough of the tone coming across, then back your hand more, towards this end of the guitar. If it's too alive and you want it to sound more percussive, move your hand more towards the nut. Okay, if it's too percussive, move it more towards the bridge. Okay, so I'm gonna sit here sideways a little bit and give you another angle here. So I'm going to be picking this, and I'll lift my hand up when I'm not muting, and so you can see kind of the difference. Okay, so you can kind of get the idea now. Now this technique does take some time to get good at. So just like anything that we do, just keep on with it, And don't be afraid to experiment. Move that hand around, move it closer to the bridge, move it further away, and you're going to develop your own sound for palm muting.